welcome back to the mining cabinet. Today we are going to go over overclocking the KS0 Pro. I bought the overclock from Tswift. I'll link his info below. This is a paid overclock. It's not the free overclock, but it's for the KS0 Pro, and it will hopefully, depending on silicon lottery, will bump it from about 200 gigahash to 280 or so, which is a nice little increase. One thing I've noticed, one thing I've noticed lately is my Jazzminer X4Q 3UZ keeps going to 0 megahash, and I finally just, I guess, had enough coffee this morning and had time to look at it and realize this. When I put it in the mining cabinet, I noticed one of the fans started making noise, and I did the right thing that everybody in computer repair does. I hit the fan, or hit the case where the fan is, and it quit making noise. Obviously, that wasn't the long-term solution, just a short-term solution. Go! So I need to get that out today and see if I have a fan that's close to the same RPM range and replace it, or get one on order and replace it, because obviously this is not doing anything. But why we're here. My KS0 Pro is getting 206 gigahash. I haven't put a meter on it, but it's supposed to be 100 watts. Maybe I'll put a meter on it now, then I'll have to shut it down. But I will have to shut down my CPU mining rig to get the meter off of it. This thing's been really steady. I mean, 0 rejections. Also, though, my overclocked KS0 with the Tswift firmware, unless it's changed, just is 0 rejections. So this is also paid firmware from Tswift. I was on the free insider threat 160 gigahash. I'd get about 158, 57. The paid firmware from Tswift, as you can see, I'm getting about 174. So it's labeled or advertised as 180. So I mean, that's pretty good. That's pushing this thing. I'll get the camera out in the garage. I need to clear off a workspace because I've just piled up a bunch of junk. But clear off a workspace, get the KS0 Pro out, because it does require some modifications for cooling to overclock it so much. But yeah, so it's been up for 11 days. Or this is the KS0 overclock. It's been up for 11 days. I hope and overclock the KS0 Pro. It is just as steady. And it has been up by itself for almost 11 days. So I'm going to go out, take it out of the cabinet. I'll show you my cooling solution. I have a bigger fan coming in, and when I get it, I'll show pictures of it. But basically, it's something I bought on Amazon, which I'll link below. And it's 3 120 millimeter fans together with one fan controller, and you plug it in. And my thought is to stand it up behind the miner, or the only problem with the miner is that the power comes out of one end and the Ethernet comes out of the other, and I was thinking of standing the miner up on it, letting air blow through it, which is what you need. But we'll figure that out. I've got a couple of USB-powered fans already in the cabinet, circulating air, keeping the power supplies cool, so we'll figure something out, and we'll go out to the garage, get a camera, and show you what I'm doing. Alright, we are out in the garage. I need to get some weather stripping, seal up these gaps so it's pulling air through the filters down here, but not right now. Okay, so the one on the right is the, I'm about busting my ass. Move something over here to set the camera on. There's my 4 Apollo minis. Temperatures in the cabinet are good up top. They're like 94 degrees right now. And I've got the AC Infinity fan only on 50%. In the summer it has to be wide open, but as you can see, there's, alright, my 3 KS0s. KS0 number 1, KS0 number 2, KS0 Pro. So what I'm going to do is unplug the KS0 Pro. Also have to swap out the power supply. for a larger one. There, probably see the back of my bald head. Let's plug this one back in. There we go. These little white fans are up here. They don't say on them what they are, but I think they're only like 1500 RPM. They don't move a lot of air, but they're doing a great job of keeping the power supply is much cooler than if they were just sitting. So we'll unplug the power supply, unplug the Ethernet. I just knocked my fan off, which probably means that my grommet's still there. Okay. Alright. So here we are. We can take this power supply off, repurpose it for something else. Okay, the fan's off out of the way. You can see the KS0. You see in there, there's holes, and there's actually a little diverter in there. You can see these little diverters, but the instructions from Tswift say to make sure the top fan is blowing down onto the unit, which is what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do, according to the instructions, is take the end caps off and blow air through the unit. I think this screwdriver might be too big. I've seen some other videos for some other people. I just actually this morning watched Red Fox. He took, and I think also the other one I saw was Mad Electron Engineering video, where they go inside the unit and tie just regular 4-pin fans onto the 4-pin headers inside the unit, put splitters. I'm not going to do that because well, it seems like you're putting more stress on the fan headers inside. I don't know if anybody really knows what the current limit is for them, but I don't want to take a chance of damaging them, so I'm going to use external fans. And also to not overstress the power supply, I'm probably going to plug this USB fan into the AC adapter I have that has USB headers on it, and so I'll power the fan off of that instead of the power supply. This thing is wedged in there. Let's get a little pick. A little pick action. Wow. There. Alright. So you can see in there, you can see the fan header over to the right, but I'm not going to mess with that. We will take this end cap off. I think what I'm going to do is tape the two end caps together with blue painter's tape and tape the screws to them, and probably tape it to the door of the cabinet. Yeah, so this case is just one big heat sink. I don't know if you can see these big black bars in there. Yeah, right there and right there. And you can kind of see the gray. I don't know if it's heat pad. Yeah, it looks like heat pads. It's not thermal paste. So the idea is those are not when you overclock, and those aren't so much the temperatures you're worried about, but it's the actual power. I guess the MOSFETs or power regulators could get really hot, so the idea is to blow air through the unit, which I don't think will be a big deal with it. Make sure I'm still in frame. Not this fan, but basically another fan standing on end blowing through it. Could actually get more air if I do it diagonally. So we'll figure that out. Somewhere over here I have, here it is, a 230 watt charger. I'll put a link in the description of which one I got off Amazon. It's a big beefy boy. It is a Chicone A17-230 P1A Alpha Rev 01, 19.5 volts, 11.8 amps, 230 watts, efficiency level V, as in victory, whatever that means. I guess they don't rate these power bricks like platinum, gold, or whatever. Alright, so now I've knocked something into my coffee. Actually, I don't think I need that one tucked in. Yeah, it's on there. So, we plug our fan back in. And we take it over to the cabinet and put it back in. Put this up on high. Give that fan plenty of room. Connect the Ethernet. That should give me enough slack, I believe. We'll plug this in here. Alright, it's coming on. We'll hook our power supply fan back up. It's also pulling a little more heat out of the fins, so I think that's a good thing. I don't know if you can see from the camera, I took a hole saw and there's multiple different size holes, 2-inch and 4-inch holes drilled in that shelf to allow airflow. I'm probably going to mount some fans under the holes blowing up to force more air out of the bottom, which right now is storage, but I'm going to have to use that, I believe, for my CPU and GPU mining. I'm also thinking I can put another shelf in right above the KS0s and put maybe 2 CPU miners in there, because I'm trying to only get mini ITX motherboards so they'll save space. And then put the make a perforated shelf, basically expanded metal, if you know what that is, like grating. I was hoping to do the miner giveaway today, but nobody has commented, so I guess nobody really wants a non-profitable original box style miner, which I don't blame you guys. I guess if you're out of the US, you could give me your country or your postal code or however other countries do it, and I can see how much it would cost to ship, but I don't know about customs, declarations, or anything else shipping it internationally. But if you're interested, let me know. I'll check into it, because I do appreciate the growth of the channel here lately. But thank you all. Alright, now let's go back into the computer and make sure it's working right before we try to overclock. Okay, we are back on the desktop. It is hashing again. We're almost back up to where we started, which is a good thing. No rejected shares. One thing I noticed, I went back and looked at my recording real quick. I never scrolled down and looked at the temperatures. So I'm probably going to let it mine up for about 10 more minutes, maybe to like total running time of 15 or 20 minutes to look at the temps. I do believe that temp 1 was up near 60 usually. I've got the internal fans on 100%, so they're about 6,000 RPM fans. Excuse me. So I'm going to check back in a minute and see what the temps are in about 10 minutes. We're back. Let's refresh. It's been 25 minutes. Hash rate's rock solid. No rejects. Temperature's 49 and 36, which is better than it's ever been. So we are going to overclock. Let me get everything ready and bring you back momentarily. Great thing about videos and editing is I could go eat a sandwich or go on vacation and come back, but in the video it's just going to be seconds. Okay, one thing to know, this is an overclock that you can get through Tswift, but you have to pay for it. I think the price was 600 kaspa. Because if you look, let me expand this to get this all in. I can't read Russian or whatever that is, or Chinese, but it does say, serious warning. This firmware performs device unique ID verification, which is your MAC address. If you burn it to a different device, you could brick it. So I'm burning it to the device that I gave him the MAC address for, which is only KS0 I have. So if we look at the instructions, this is very important. Unscrew and remove both of the thin panels of the machine. Those two side panels that I have the video of me removing. Ensure airflow can pass through the internal parts. It's also recommended to have an additional fan or airflow pushing air into the side opening that has the power connection on it, not into the side with the Ethernet connection, because I guess the power regulators, MOSFETs, are on the power connection side, so you want to get cool air to them. So restore the miner. I'm going to have to walk outside, restore the miner. Then you have to load, there is an init. So this is what you get. There's, what is it, 6 firmware files and an init. So you upload the init firmware first. Then I believe it's going to say restart. So you upload the init file to the firmware upgrade menu and restart. Then you upload the firmware with your desired overclock settings, then restart. Then you apply your pool settings, set the fan speed, observe the hash rate, and I guess also you want to check the temperatures. This is the sequence you should try the firmwares in: 280G underscore L, 280G, 270GL, 270G, 260GL, then 260G. Hopefully that through Silicon Lottery, mine will work on one of the 280s. If you read this, when using this firmware, make sure power supply is 180 watts or greater and an external fan is blowing air towards the heatsink. So that's my AC Infinity fan that's wedged in to the top. So it is blowing down onto the heatsink of the miner. So again, let's check temperatures. We're at 49 and 36. I've been running almost 30 minutes, I think. Yeah, okay. So let me pause this again and go reset the miner. To reset the miner, you hold down the reset button on the end of the case. What does it say? I think it's for about 20 seconds. But basically, till the lights turn solid and both lights start blinking. Stop mining to IceRiver. Fan back to 100. So we're going to go to firmware upgrade. We're going to go to KS0 Pro firmware, and we're going to upload the init. Says it's okay. Confirm restart. Yes. Go back to instructions. Upload the init and restart again. Then upload the firmware through desired overclock. The first one we want to upload is 280G underscore L. So let's go to firmware update. Let's go to 280G underscore L. Open that one. And update. And if you notice right there, it says C fake path. That's fine. I was kind of freaked out the first time I saw that, but that is internal on the stock firmware, so nothing going on there. We'll give it just a minute. And if you're wondering, there's Tswift's contact info. Telegram is at TSwiftUSA. Discord is at TSwifts with a Z. So we need to go into the mining settings because there's no pool addresses set. We'll delete all this out. Set this fan speed to 100. We'll save that. 4444 is pool mining. 4441 is solo mining. But, you know. I gotta change the worker. This is .91. So we'll save and restart. Oh, we are back up. Need to go into mining setting. Turn the fan speed to 100. See if we get any mining. Then we might have to start uploading different firmwares. See what happens. Probably should only take 3 or 4 minutes for it to actually start seeing accepted shares and some kind of hash rate. Oh, look. Christmas is coming early. So after 8 minutes and 20 seconds, we are up to 232 gigahash. Only got 35 accepted shares. Let's see if we are seen on the... Okay, there we are. It is showing on the pool because it got its last share at 9:29 and 42 seconds, and right now it's 9:30. Let's see what our hash rate's going to settle out at. It's up to 232, our temperature 62 and 38. Our fans should be, it says 75. I want it at 100%. They are screaming. They are screaming. So we're at 232 gigahashes per second. Out of a little bitty box that I got for $480 from Tswift. They've gone up quite substantially. I think I'm one of the few times in my life I picked something at the right time, right when the prices had just bottomed out on the IceRivers. We're up to 246. Looks like it's kind of flattening out. The temps are still good. I don't know what anybody else thinks, but I'm okay with the temp one. I believe is the exhaust. Till it gets to over 70 degrees Celsius, I'm not too concerned as long as it stays in the 60s. Now next summer may be a problem since it's out in the garage. I may have to put it inside upstairs. Hoping to get closer to 280, but you know what? 246 is more than 208. I may try the other 280 to see if it gets better. I'm going to give this probably to about 30 minutes to maybe try the other firmware and see how it does. Okay, we seem to be hanging out about 244 gigahash, so let's try a different firmware. Go to firmware upgrade, select file. Let's go to 280G. Open that one and update. Do we want to restart? Yes, we do want to restart. Now we need to wait for it to come back on and start mining. So looky there. 304 gigahash. I don't expect it'll stay up that high. So let's see what it sells out at in about 20 minutes. All right, I guess I will come back in a minute and check, but we dipped down to 286 and we're back to 302. So temperatures still look good. Fans are running wide open. I've got the fan on the outside, the fan on top, and the fan blowing through it. So my temps look okay. So I think I'm going to stick with this firmware and upload this video. So again, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching and have happy holidays. I'm going to have a great Christmas and a birthday next Friday, so I don't know if I'll have a video before then. But again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and let's have a prosperous 2024.